Kids, listen to your mother.
Mom!
Welcome to Between Us Moms with Katie Crafts-Morg and Hallie Stevens-Drake.
Hey guys, a quick thing before we start today's episode. This podcast is just me and Hallie. We edit, we book, we produce. So when you share the podcast or you share a clip on social media or you join our Facebook group or our Substack, it goes such a long way. There's no big podcast network behind us. It's just us. So if you love it here, please share an episode and rate us, like our content so that we can keep this thing going. And with that, Hal?
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are officially married, and we're breaking down everything we know about the wedding everyone is talking about. Then one influencer's 5 summer rules for her tweens have parents completely divided. And is an airport divorce the secret to stress-free travel? The internet is obsessed with the concept, and we're going to talk about it. But Katie, first things first, Slay or Nay of the Week. What do you got?
Okay, I'm going to keep this so tight because I am so giddy and excited about the TNT wedding of what seems like the century. So there's much to discuss there. But here's my quick little yays. Our house sold. We are moving.
Woo-hoo. I'm so excited.
I'm still in a little bit of disbelief and shock. And I feel like because it took longer than anticipated, it's hard. I don't know why I'm like, I can't just be excited. I'm just like, wait, is it real? Is this happening? I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, which maybe says more about me than I realize. So there's that. And if you guys have any tips for moving with young children, let me know. We're also going to transition Kaya into her big girl bed after we move. So it's kind of like an all for one. How do you feel about that? Is that smart?
A lot of change at once, but like it is what it is. And I think it'll be fine. It's a new room. So set it up the way you want it to be. You know, why transition her there and then do another transition? Just two birds, one stone. I'm here for it. And I'm so excited for you guys. I know you've really wanted this whole thing to play out, and it did. And I'm so happy for you.
We
so
are
exciting.
Very sad to leave this home, very bittersweet, but we'll talk about that on another episode. The other thing is our podcast, you guys, was invited to a conference in Las Vegas. Hallie is going to be on vacation, so I'm going to represent us, but we're really excited that we were thought of for this. So I'm going to be on a panel in Las Vegas this week. More to come on that, but I am traveling solo, I think, for the first time since we went to New York for our podcast, which was like almost 2 years ago. So this should be fun. And I'm excited that our podcast is getting a little bit of recognition.
It's amazing. You're going to hold it down. You're going to do me proud. I can't wait to hear everything. And I'm excited for you to have a little alone time. I know it's going to be busy, but I'm like dying for you to just put on a hotel robe, order room service, like maybe do a face mask, turn the lights down, put the air at 68 and like have a mommy moment.
A 68-degree room, there's nothing like it. That's all. What about you?
One is a sleigh. My family has started doing Sunday family dinners, and we rotate what house we go to, but we have stuck to it for weeks now. And I love it and I cherish it so much. It's so precious. It's why we moved closer to family. And I'm excited for you because you're moving closer to your parents, even though you aren't far now. It's just going to make it that much easier. And let me just say, Sunday family dinners are so wholesome. And I think everyone who lives close to their family should do it because it's pure magic. So that's one.
It's a great way to start the week.
It is. And it's just we rotate who makes the dinner or we order dinner. The kids play. It's super casual, but it's just so good to be together. This is a nay. I saw somebody on Instagram talk about how they had a friend who said that they get up in the middle of the night sometimes to go poop. And I have not stopped thinking about that. And I just need to know if people do this. Is this a thing people do? Because I never go poop. Well, first of all, if there are men listening, I don't poop. If Andrew, if you're listening, I don't poop. But like, are people getting up in the middle of the night to go poop? Do you do that?
No.
Is that weird?
I actually have so much fear of having to wake up in the middle of the night to pee that I feel like I always extra go pee right before I go to bed. No matter how cozy and comfy I am in bed, I'm like, let me just go pee one more time because I do not want to be disturbed by my bladder. So I feel like pooping in the morning is a more regular bowel function.
Totally. After your first coffee, but someone who like is just like, oh, I'm waking up in the middle of the night from my slumber because I have to poop.
No.
Like I've just never ever heard of that. So I just need to know
No.
Is this real? Is this something, or is this just a one-off person? But I haven't stopped thinking about it, and it's really, really disturbing me. So anyway, that's my nay of the week is night poopers.
I love that that's the content that you're seeing and getting fed.
It's real weird in my algorithm. Real weird.
I think people say stuff like that to like rage bait.
I
They
think
want you to
maybe.
comment because nobody actually is getting up in the middle of the night to poop.
I don't know.
On that
Weird.
note,
Yeah. There's
wait,
no
I actually
transition.
I do have one thing to add to that. My parents just got back from Japan,
Mm.
and did you know that their toilets are so fancy over there, but one of the features is music because the women there are so private that they want to play music so nobody can hear what's happening when they're going to the bathroom.
Okay.
Fascinating.
Now I have something to add to this. When Andrew and I were newly dating, there was a diner on the corner. And if I had to poop, I would be like, hey, I'm just going to take a little mini walk, get some fresh air. And I went to this 24-hour diner and I used their toilet because I was not about to do it in his apartment where there was one bathroom. And if I made any kind of noise, everyone was going to hear it.
They probably knew too. They would give you like the good wink, like, hey,
Yeah. They're like, hey, are you going to order a fry? Like at least.
or are you just going to poop?
Yeah.
Wait, that's
Brutal.
amazing. Well, you know, the US could really, I think, take a note
A note.
from Japan. I am all
Yeah.
about that type of toilet. Let's do it.
Let's
Okay,
talk about something classier, shall we?
from toilets to Taylor and Travis.
What a transition.
Taylor and Travis got married at Madison Square Garden on July 3rd, which I believe is also the 1013th day of the year, if I'm right.
No,
Or wait, no,
There are only
113th. I know.
yeah, it's 100. I think
Okay,
it's
wait.
184.
Which, when you add up 184, it's 13.
No, 1 plus 8 plus 4.
Four.
That's
It's
not,
thir-
yeah.
it's
1 plus 8
13.
plus 4 is 13.
Sorry, I skipped a step in my math. Okay,
Yeah.
I knew there was a 13.
Clip that.
Like,
Mom brain.
I,
There are
I-
365 days in a year.
I was just trying to get to the 13.
It does
Thank
feel
you
like
for-
there are thousands of days in a year. I do feel that way.
As it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, wait,
Wait, that's not right. That doesn't feel right.
okay. Anyways, every time I refresh my app, I feel like a new headline pops up, which is why this entire segment, Headlines That Made Us Text Each Other, is dedicated to this wedding. By the time this episode airs, full disclaimer, there will probably be more news and hopefully likely the first photos. It is Sunday night right now, so just putting all that out there. But let's dive into the biggest stories about this incredible celebration. I have a whole list of topics here from like Karlie and Blake and Adam Sandler and the crying and the vows and the guests. But first of all, the epicness of the entire thing, the insane guest list. Hallie, what are your thoughts? We were on a group text. We really were on a
Yes.
group text about this.
Yes, with all our work people. So it's like all people in the industry who are like in the know on this stuff. And the guest list was the first thing everyone wanted to talk about because it was literally almost having to do some mental gymnastics to connect the dots between these attendees and Taylor and Travis. There were people that I was like, how do they know each other? But what we'll say is, I know on this podcast at one time we said, that we didn't want it to be at MSG, and it was. So, okay. But also, we were talking about it's probably going to be intimate and small. But then this clip came up from the Graham Norton show of her a year ago talking about how one of the most stressful things of a wedding is trying to decide who gets cut from the list. And you have to evaluate relationships. And she literally said, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And she wasn't lying. Literally, everyone was invited. In fact, I don't even know her, but I'm offended I wasn't because there were that many people.
I feel like I deserved a freaking invite.
I mean, you are a fan like that.
I get the PR boxes. I've been invited backstage. I've been invited to her concerts. I have been put on her actual list at said concert will calls. I am not offended, but I am a little bit. I think like 2 different life choices over the past few years, and I could have been invited.
Oh, I know. So who to you is the most surprising person on the guest list?
Oh, Barbara Corcoran from Shark
Yeah.
Tank.
Yeah, what?
What?
But what is the relationship there? Do we know?
No.
I mean, the Good Morning America anchors all were talking about it on the next morning and they were like, thank you for inviting us. Like literally, I feel like it was a who's who of Hollywood.
If you weren't invited, she hates you
Mm-hmm.
or you're very busy. I want to say like Harry Styles because Zoe Kravitz was there. I know they're exes, but I feel like they're cordial. But Zoe was there. So like he was on tour. Then he went and played the song he wrote about Taylor that night at his concert.
Mm,
I'm sorry.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like,
Was he in concert the night of her wedding?
yeah. And he
Okay, well
played
that's
he
the only
played two
reason.
ghosts. He played two ghosts.
Well, that's the only reason he wasn't there. I think he would have showed up.
Yeah. I don't know. The guest list, I'm like, why was like Brad Pitt there? But then I'm like, he's a big Kansas City boy. Like he's a big
Hmm.
Chiefs guy. So like that does, I guess, the
Tracks.
maths. But then I'm like, Katy Perry wasn't there. I thought they had like olive branched it out,
Yeah, actually, that's a good point.
And then I have not
Hmm.
seen. Also, let's just clarify in case we want this to age well. I have not seen any photos yet of Sophie Turner, but again, there's many people that were there that we have not seen photos or video of. So I'm hoping she
Yes.
was there. But then I'm like, would Joe Jonas or like any of the Jonas brothers have
Right.
been invited? I don't know.
I was wondering that too, because I haven't seen that. And I was also wondering, have you seen the Taylors, Taylor Lautner and his wife? She's
Interesting.
pregnant.
Yeah, so
She may not be
maybe,
able to travel, but I was wondering about that.
yeah, interesting.
Interesting. But
And was Lana there? Del Rey?
I haven't seen that picture.
I haven't seen it confirmed yet.
The Nashville girlies being there, like that was really cute. They all rode a bus together, like
Yes.
Maren Morris and
Yes.
Kelsey Ballerini,
Miranda.
and they were singing like one of her songs, "Love Story," in the ride over. But
Carly Kloss.
okay,
Jinx.
Jinx? Okay, so her being
That's
there,
what
I was
I'm
like,
gonna clip out.
yes, the clips. Are there so many? Okay, but I want you to explain something to me and to everyone listening. Why is her wearing a gold dress significant? Everyone's been like, oh my God, Karlie Kloss wearing a gold dress to the wedding. They had that rumored beef. There was whatever, but she wore a gold dress. And apparently there's some significance to that.
Wait, what? What does it mean? Hang
I
on,
don't
I'm
know.
giving it a
Okay.
quick Google right now. She arrived in a gold dress. I thought it was hilarious, first of all, that people thought she called the paparazzi on herself to pretend like she was going to the wedding.
I know. I saw that too.
I
But she
was
did.
like,
She was
what?
seen exiting. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think someone posted like who did her glam, like she was going to the TNT wedding. I guess it's associated with the song Gold Rush, which is on Evermore.
Hmm.
That they think is like people think it's like a portrait of Kloss. I
Oh.
don't know. I'll tell you something. I remember being at the Eras tour in Los Angeles and Karlie Kloss showed up and was like a plebeian, as in was not in the tent with all
Yeah.
the celebs. She sat up in the balcony and this was
Yeah.
not too many years ago. This was like 3 years ago. This was before she even started dating Travis. So obviously, the friendship has been mended at some point. I just don't, and correct me if I'm wrong, I cannot understand how you can salvage and repair a friendship with Carly and not with Blake and Ryan.
So Blake and Ryan, for everyone listening, were photographed somewhere else the day of the wedding. Where were they? They were like on a dock.
Upstate. They were upstate
Yeah.
New York somewhere, but it was very clear. And this is how you know PR teams are involved. They were not invited. Nothing could be clearer that, like, we are not friends anymore than not inviting you to the wedding.
Which is so interesting because everyone thought they had made amends based off her song on Showgirl. Life was,
Canceled. Yeah,
yeah.
canceled. But apparently it was about maybe more so like Brittany Mahomes.
Mm.
I think when Taylor was really going through it back in 2016 with the Kim of it all, and obviously this is how what inspired the album Reputation, I feel like Blake stood by her side during that time.
I think the difference is she stood by her side, but Taylor didn't wrong her. Blake wronged Taylor.
So did Carly.
Yes, I know, but there's been more time and space. I think the publicity of all the Blake and Ryan.
Yeah, she's the godmother of their children. Something bad really, really, really must have happened. I
Yeah.
also want to give, Taylor's a smart cookie. You don't have to stay friends with people. She's in her right to move on from friendships. I know we've talked about this on the podcast. Friendship breakups do happen. I just think about Blake during the fragility of the period of time she was in being so postpartum. And obviously your hormones are going crazy. You're not probably thinking clearly. Like there's just a lot. And I hope that in like 5 years, if and when Taylor decides to have children and she goes through postpartum, she doesn't have regrets over not having Blake there.
Yeah.
And maybe she won't. Maybe she's like totally fine being cut off. I wonder what Gigi Hadid and Blake's friendship is like these days.
Ooh.
I don't know. Just all very,
Messy.
very surprising.
But also random was Adam Sandler officiating. And I know it's not that random because Travis was in a movie. He was in the Happy Gilmore 2 with Adam. And I know in interviews on like New Heights, Adam talked about how wonderful Taylor is and how like he's really important to his girls and stuff. So there's a connection. But to me, it was like so silly.
Like, officiating their wedding.
It felt
Like this
silly.
is my father officiated my wedding.
Yeah.
My dad.
I mean, it's epic. It's epic, but it's
Yeah.
also just it feels they know everyone and no one would have said no to them. I would have asked like Barack Obama or like somebody who has like,
Even Paul Rudd for some reason would have made more sense
Oh.
to me.
Yeah,
I don't know
Kansas City
why. Yeah. Adam Sandler is so wholesome and so
Yeah.
wonderful and has been in love and married, for such a long time. And I think people really respect him. And I think they probably trusted that he could take charge in a room with that many high profile people and, get sentimental, but also be comedic. And I would honestly bet money that their favorite movie is The Wedding Singer.
Yeah, I could see that.
And I bet they're like, what if we got Adam Sandler to officiate our wedding? And Taylor is probably like, oh my God, we could do that. Like, if you could pick any celebrity to officiate your wedding, would you? And like, who would you choose?
It would not have been Adam Sandler, but I would love to know what he said. I would have loved to know. And apparently he did a beautiful job.
He
which-
said something along the lines of like, always just kiss your wife. Kiss your wife. Keep kissing your wife.
I love that.
It's cute,
That's so
right?
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently the vows were 20 minutes apiece.
Can you imagine having to write vows for Taylor?
No, never. Like
The best writer of essentially our generation.
Yeah. And you have this in your notes, but Travis reportedly cried harder and more than Taylor, which I love. I have goosebumps just saying it. It's so like this big, burly, hairy man, this football stud, like just losing it on the altar is so sweet.
Do you think he cried over what she said or because of the specialness of the entire ceremony in the moment?
All of the above.
Yeah.
But probably things she said. I bet it actually, if I had to guess, it was probably when he was reading his vows to her.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Oh my God, I got goosebumps now too.
I know. But there are rumors that this is actually going to be turned into a documentary. Some people are saying she made a deal with Disney. There were cameras everywhere, which might have just been for her own documenting purposes. But God, please make it a documentary. Like, I want to see the magic of this evening.
I love that people jumped to that conclusion because there were so many cameras. If it was my wedding and I could afford 5,000 videographers, I would probably also hire them, not necessarily to turn it into a documentary, just to document the moment. Everything I've thought about what she was going to do here, I was kind of a little bit wrong about. And so a lot of it surprised me. And I remember when started seeing all the celebrities and we started seeing MSG and we saw large pieces being taken into this venue. And I just was like, what? And now that I've had time to process and reflect, I can't think of anything more Taylor Swift than having this large of an epic wedding. I'm going to tell you something I've never said on this podcast, but when I was at Reputation Tour, I was talking to Andrea Swift. And I know this is how Taylor thinks now because I was like, this is so epic. It was her first like really big stadium tour. And I was like, I love that she's doing all these stadiums and yada, yada. And Andrea's like, the way she thought about this album was that it was loud. And so she needed outdoor venues to really convey that. And I feel like this love is so epic that maybe she wanted the wedding and him too.
Yeah.
To convey that. Like she is a larger than life person. And why not? I think she doesn't like to be not liked as well. So that's probably why she made sure nobody was left off that guest list. She didn't want anyone being like, I wasn't invited. She doesn't want to hurt feelings. And I don't know. I think the girl loves love. She's a fairy tale girly for life.
And let me tell you, there are some pictures that the Daily Mail has, and you can kind of sort of see what the inside looked like. Didn't look like MSG. And we did say this on the podcast. She has the money to make that place look different. It looks like a secret garden, like a England garden. It didn't look tacky at all. So I am eating my words now. The woman really did that. She did it.
I'm curious how she transitioned from the night before event to the wedding.
Me too. I bet people were there all night.
I'm just so apparently Tom Hanks was there like doing karaoke or something until the wee hours, and like Brad
And
Pitt too.
and Stevie Nicks performed.
Oh,
And Paul McCartney and Tim McGraw.
okay, wait. Paul McCartney, for the first time since 1964, sang "I Want to Hold Your Hand."
Stop. Oh my God, I have
What?
goosebumps
I
again.
know.
Holy shit.
What? Has not been performed live in that long.
Only Taylor, man. Only Taylor could do it.
Only Taylor. Okay, the other
Also,
surprising thing,
oh yeah.
they got a dog, a white, fluffy, furball, cute dog. In those pictures from the Daily Mail, you saw some of the photos of them on the wall, and there seems to be a picture of them with this white dog. And then outside the venue, you saw a dog with like a dog walker, and it looked to be the same dog, like this cute, white, foxy looking, cute fur ball.
New news. Also, I love that the Empire State Building lit up blue to be her something blue.
I know.
And I saw images. They gifted everybody this like beautiful tapestry that was like sealed with a wax seal because, as we know, Taylor loves that. Also, I love that she invited all her dancers from the Eras tour. They were all there on the bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like the woman, I'm trying to think what else just like really
Her
had me.
bands, like
Oh.
like she invited Joseph Kahn. For those of you who don't know, he was the music video director of like Bad Blood and I believe Wildest Dreams. Like her like videos from a while ago. And he was kind of documenting like what it was like to talk with Steven Spielberg.
I love that. I love that her brother was her man of honor.
Of course,
And
he told her to stop eating out of the trash.
yes. And Jason Kelce was the best man, but that was it for their bridal party. I thought that was brilliant.
We haven't seen photos yet, by the way, of Kylie Kelce,
Great point.
right? And
She was
were
there.
of course, but were there kids in like involved in the
Flower
wedding
girls.
at all? Flower girls? That was not
TV.
addressed in Tree Payne's press release, if there were
Yes.
any, flower girls of note. And so I'm curious about that.
And
What
the
do you
handkerchiefs that they handed out that were just for the emotional moments, I definitely would have cried.
I know.
I want to know if her dad walked her down the aisle.
Or if like of Scott and Andrea both, and like Ed
Right.
and Donna,
Mm.
and if
Lots to
which
be-
parent cried the most?
Oh,
Probably Scott.
probably.
I don't
love
know.
it.
There's so many things. I'm so curious what the dress.
We know it's Christian Dior, and they both wore white. Yeah. So there were AI images that were released online, and everyone was like, "Oh, there it is!" And he was wearing a black tux, and now we know that wasn't it because he wore white.
Good on her on being able to keep this for as public and large and epic as it was, to be able to keep photos of you at your wedding completely on your terms, like no, not a single leak. That says a lot about
it
the guest
does.
list too. Like we can question the guest list all we want, but nobody leaked a single photo. They also took everyone's phones. So
And they also signed NDAs out the ass. Like I heard that the invitations were directly linked to each person who got it, and it was basically like, if anything gets out, we know it's coming from you.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the money they must have spent on the security, I just would love to know.
also though, like the head of AMC,
Yeah.
he apparently posted an entire detailed
He did.
note of what the experience was like and then had to delete it. I wonder what kind of conversations were had
Right?
with him.
Well, and what he described is exactly what you see in the Daily Mail photos. Curtains and the images. You walked in through the tunnel as the guests arrive. And he talked about the secret garden of it all and having
Yeah.
string quartets and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, whoops. Won't be invited again, sir. Will not be invited again. Also, wouldn't you be stressed if you invite 1,000 people to your wedding? Wouldn't you then be stressed? Like if you forget somebody, then it's like how do you mend that?
That's right. That's what I mean. It's like she hates you.
Yeah. But like I would have to triple check that stuff and have people be like, who am I missing? Who am I
know.
missing?
I
'Cause,
know.
AMC guys there. And
I wonder,
Anyway.
do you think her and Travis actually sat down and just started naming off people that had to be invited together? Or was there like business decisions involved here? Was Tree like, don't forget Chris
Both.
Caraba from Dashboard Confessional, although I think that was for sure Taylor, but I'm just so curious.
Yeah. I think it was probably like, who have I done music videos with? Who like literally
Yeah.
everything. Like, yeah, I don't even know. I
And
don't even know how you do that.
how do you think she did the seating chart? Like who did Selena Gomez sit next to? Who did Brad Pitt sit next to?
We
Was
need people
Leonardo DiCaprio there?
haven't seen, but we need people to start breaking their NDAs because I have questions.
Or just keep posting photos of yourself because you are obviously allowed to do that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I just want to know who sat with who. How do you even decide that with 1,000 people? I have so many questions.
Me too.
Okay, let's move on though, because I could talk about this for hours and hours and
Yes.
hours, and now we're running out of time.
Yeah. Okay, let's switch gears and get into the mom algorithm. So there's this new relationship trend called an airport divorce. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Okay. So it's not as dramatic and scary as it sounds, but the idea is that once couples get through TSA, they basically just split up for the rest of the airport experience. They do their own thing, they grab their own coffee, they scroll, they sit alone, and then they meet back up at the gate right before boarding. And it all started with this travel writer who realized that he and his wife have totally different airport styles. One of them gets stressed and checks the time constantly, and the other one is more relaxed and like wanders the terminal. So instead of arguing, they just separate and reconnect later. So people online are pretty split on this. Some think it's genius for avoiding that pre-vacation tension, and others think if you need an airport divorce, maybe there's a bigger issue. Katie, what do you think?
I think this is so impossible to even think about with children.
No, right, exactly.
Like, you cannot airport divorce. You are
No.
all hands on deck, teammate from the moment that you arrive to the moment that your vacation is over.
Yeah.
Um, if you know, we were traveling without children, no, I don't think we would ever be like, okay, bye. Go get your I feel like we're very much like, what should we eat? Or do you need anything from the whatever store, the ABC store, whatever it's called? Do you want to go see where our gate is? And then we kind of just talk about it. And yeah, sometimes once we're there, like both sit there together, kind of like in silence, because we're like, whew, we made it. But I don't think we would ever like split up at the airport. You?
No, never. I love traveling with Andrew. It's so much fun. And the whole experience is so fun together. The one thing I will say there can be some discourse about is how early we should get there. Like,
Oh,
I like to get there earlier. Andrew's like, we don't really need to, but I like a lounge moment. I like going to the lounge and
yeah.
relaxing and just like decompressing. But he's like, why would we get there so early?
Mm.
So I would say there's some chatter about that, but we would never take separate Ubers to
I
the
was just gonna
airport.
say, should you guys arrive at separate times?
Yeah. But no, this is not for me. But I do think like travel can be stressful. And I think for people who don't do it that often and it's not really comfortable, I get why it's stressful,
Yeah,
but
but
also weird. Why would you want to?
it's I'm with the people who said there's a bigger issue. There's a bigger issue,
Maybe.
and maybe you need to find a different person to travel with.
Right. Is airport divorce just a precursor to divorce? It seems that way, but
Yes, I think so.
hopefully not for this travel writer. But
Yeah.
anyway, what do you have, Katie?
There was this parenting and lifestyle influencer. She has almost 5 million followers, and she posted this video to her page sharing her strict summer parenting rules for her 14-year-old daughter and her 11-year-old son. The video now has like almost 15 million views or something like that. And so we need to go through her rules and discuss. The first one is 1 minute of reading earns you 1 minute of screen time. Yay or nay?
In theory, yay, but it just seems really rigid. Like, are we sitting there timing someone reading? I think it should just be like, if you read today, you can watch a little TV today. But I think sitting there being like one for one is a little intense.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Yeah.
agree. Okay, what about you have to do 20 minutes of math each day?
I mean, I guess in the summer it's good to stay lubricated on your math skills, I guess. But also the summer is like, I don't think I would do this. No. 20 minutes a day, that's kind of a lot, no? And like, I would say no. I want my kids to just relax in the summer.
Yeah, it's basically almost 2 hours a week, essentially, which is a lot. I would maybe incorporate it into like games or like count. I don't know, like let's
Sure.
count. I don't know. I guess I have younger kids, so I'm not there yet. Honestly, I don't really want to be doing math during the summer.
No.
So why does my kid want to
No,
be doing math?
this is silly. No, I wouldn't do
Also,
that.
we have calculators now. I would much
That's
rather
what I'm
have them
saying.
write. I would want like go write. Let's practice our literature.
We can also say AI, Katie. You can be a terrible writer now, and AI will make you sound like,
Oh, I
Shakespeare.
hate
It's
it.
so sad. I do
hate
too.
it here. I
As someone
hate
who's
it.
a good writer, it frustrates me that now everybody can just cheat and be a good writer.
Well,
Like that's my
okay.
thing.
Let me rephrase. Having them practice the art of handwriting. I
Oh,
think that's like a
okay.
very lost art that we need to bring back.
Okay, Taylor Swift.
But you know what I mean, though?
Yeah,
Our
sure.
penmanship. It's
Sure.
important, no?
Mine is terrible. So sure.
Mine has gotten worse because I don't
Yeah.
practice. We have to
You know what?
practice.
And back to the math, maybe like 20 minutes a week.
Fair. Love it.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Love
Okay.
that. Okay. See, we're,
Yeah.
we're crunchy,
Compromise.
but not so crunchy.
We're cool moms, but
We're
not
cool
that cool.
moms. Okay.
What else is on our list?
You have to spend 2 hours a day outside being active.
That I love.
Yeah.
That I love. Yes.
Me too. Very for this. I don't care if you're water, playing with your friends, capture the flag. That was a big one for me. Handball, pickleball, tennis. I don't care. Get that sunshine.
Yeah. Even if it's just being outside and having a picnic, just 2 hours outside in the summer should be a requirement if it's nice
Totally.
out. I agree. What
You could
else?
you could do your math homework outside.
Hey, two birds, one stone. I love that.
Lights out at 11 p.m. on weekdays and midnight on weekends.
Ooh, this is hard.
It feels late to me. Am I old?
No, I feel like this is really late. I
I
think I
don't.
would say earlier.
Yeah, I feel like that's like very kind. I would be, I don't know. I plan on being good about bedtimes for my children's entirety of time that they're under my roof. I read actually was Christian McCaffrey at this wedding?
I don't know, but you told us this, the
Okay.
7:30 rule.
Yes, his dad was always like 7:30, that is your bedtime. And I think it really helps kids with routine and scheduling.
Teenagers aren't going to bed at 7:30, but
I
they should
know.
be in bed at like 9 or
9.
10.
Yes. I feel like
You know?
9 feels fair and 10 would be like a late, but
Yeah.
midnight, damn. And lastly, you can sleep as late as you want as long as you don't have plans.
I don't like that. Seize the day mentality. Just be out there. Like, I don't want my kid being lazy in bed, sleeping in the summer. Like, I want you going to bed early, getting up early, and you don't have to do your math, but like, let's get up and have some fun. It's summer.
Listen, I think teenagers do sleep in inherently a little bit later than like a 7 a.m. or an 8 a.m. wake up, but I think anything past like a 9 a.m. would be it's time to get up. Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's
Yeah.
chop chop. Come on.
Yeah.
We're getting
Move those legs.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And listen, people need to come up with the rules that work for their family. And I do think there's something to having a little bit of a routine in the summer so that when they go back to school, it's not so jarring and like such a hard transition. So if this works for her family, amazing. It wouldn't necessarily be my bag, but not too far off. Guys, what a jam-packed episode. We are so grateful for you. We're so glad you're here. We say motherhood is a sisterhood, and we mean that wholeheartedly. You are our sisters. Thank you for being here every week listening. It means more to us than we could ever tell you.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Between Us Moms.
Don't forget to follow us for more mom content and good conversations on all the socials.
We're also on Substack and have a newsletter filled with tips, tea, meal ideas, and mom stuff you won't want to miss.
And we've got a secret Facebook group to connect and talk even more.
Go find us.